Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, family, we are live. It's Thursday night. I know
Yeah.
we are live on YouTube. I know Facebook is experiencing some technical difficulties. And so, but we will post after we finish recording. We got the Dr. Ric Mathis in the building.
What up, what up, what up? How y'all doing?
Hey, Doc, how are you?
Hey, man, this the best day of my life.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
I feel you. He the happiest brother I know. All right, so good to see you. Thank you for taking the time out to be with us tonight and always gracing us with your AI knowledge and your presence. And who we got at the bottom? My boy, B Starks in the building.
Hey, what's up, family? What's up, world? How y'all doing?
Hey, hey. So what y'all been up to? B Starks, what you been doing this week?
Trying to be productive, doing what I do best, helping the people.
Speaking to the people. For those that don't know you, B Starks, who are you? Who is B Starks?
Hey, I'm just somebody trying to make a difference. That's all.
All right, so real quick, can you just speak to your background, kind of what you doing these
Yeah,
days?
so my name is, Miss Isha called me B Starks, which is where I got that from in the military. So she kicked in and keyed on that immediately. But my name is Brian Starks. I am the CEO and founder of Starks Technology Services, where we provide IT infrastructure support as well as cybersecurity solutions, training as well for cybersecurity and for the government space. So, for all of you people that are entrepreneurs trying to get into the government space, now is a very hot season to be in because of the new cybersecurity regulations in the government space. So, we also do pre audits as well for government entities that are within the DoD.
All right, so we're gonna speak to that a little bit later. I'm gonna have you dig a little deeper into that
All
for
right.
people who are trying to get in that government contracting space.
Mhm.
All right, and the Dr. Ric Mathis, y'all seen him before. Everybody know who he is. The world renowned Dr. Ric Mathis. For the people that's been living under a rock, who is Dr. Mathis?
Again, greetings. Thanks for having me on tonight. Definitely a pleasure to join you and Isha and B Starks. So, my name is Dr. Ric Mathis. I'm a filmmaker from the west side of Atlanta. Now, for my bougie people, that's Cascade Road. For my educated gangsters, that's Adamsville. And for my freedom fighters, that's West End. So, as Abraham Lincoln once said, all that I am and all that I ever will become, I owe to my mother. Raised by a single parent whose strength, wisdom, and tenacity has been the cornerstone of my foundation, I say ashe to the spirit of Miss Gwendolyn Lewis. Growing up without an earthly father, she taught me to develop an everlasting relationship with my spiritual father. So, Mama, thank you for the wisdom and affection you gave. My success is a testament to your unwavering love, dedication, and tenacity. So, as we journey into the cinematic world of Dr. Ric Mathis, let us observe the rich tapestry of experiences that have shaped and molded me into the person I am today. A kid from Atlanta's West Side, driven by dreams of carving my thoughts and visions into the hearts of many around the world. So, I greet you in the name of Dr. Ric Mathis. Excited to be here and is ready to dive into the conversation around AI.
That's right. We appreciate that. Thank you for just kind of explaining who you are. And I don't want to skip too far past without saying Ashe to Mama Gwen Lewis and
Yes,
all those
yes.
who went before us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's jump into the conversation. We are talking about AI tonight. That has been the topic, the highlight from several of our previous lives around business because there's so many opportunities in AI, not only for pathways to education, careers, and now especially entrepreneurship. So we're gonna jump in all of that tonight. So AI and cybersecurity, they do go hand in hand. You need one for the other to function, and so that's why we got the B Starks who can speak to that aspect of it. All right, so I want to talk about a few articles that came out this week. The first one is about the genius over at Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. And the highlight of this article, it's a Inc. 5000 article on artificial intelligence. And the headline says, Hot AI job market means that Meta is offering jobs without interviews. Zuck
Can
is,
you share the article on the
I
screen?
will.
All right.
And it says that Zuck is emailing candidates himself.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all think about that?
I think it's creative. I do think that it's a sense of urgency because in order for him to do that, I think he really need certain people to step up. But I do like the personal touch and the creativeness of it. It's kind of like handwriting a letter. Nowadays we get text messages and emails, but rarely do we get a handwritten letter. So it's kind of like a handwritten letter.
Yeah, I agree. B Starks, what you think about?
Sorry, I got a lot of distractions.
No, you
Say what
good.
you. Yeah. Say that again.
So we're talking about Zuckerberg,
Mm-hmm.
kind of going on this mass hiring spree,
Yeah.
and using, he's emailing people himself. If he's using AI to send the emails, we don't know. But they say he's emailing candidates himself and foregoing traditional interview process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could definitely tell you he's not reaching out to people. Come on now. Now you and Dr. Mathis, and myself, we all CEOs of our own respective realms. Are y'all gonna be sending out individual? You know what I'm saying? No, you're gonna be getting in the behinds of, your recruiters, HR, or your staff members to get some people in there. So definitely AI written all over that. Because me myself, being in the technical industry and having my own firm, nah, I don't have time. I gotta run the business, create those opportunities. So that's what I pay those people for. My HR people, those that are recruiting talent. So
Yeah.
I'm about 99% sure that that's AI.
So I will say, and I'm gonna read an excerpt of the article. So the gist of it is that he is poaching people from Google's deep mind. So he's trying to get people over from Google into Meta, and so that's why he's personally reaching out to them. So the article says Zuckerberg has been personally emailing AI researchers from Google's DeepMind division, explaining how important AI is to the future of Meta and saying how he's hoping the researcher and Meta will work together. Meta is also said to be skipping traditional hiring processes and directly making job offers to some new staff without interviewing them and has suspended what the information says is a long-standing company policy of not raising salaries for staff who are threatening to leave.
Mm.
So,
So he's hiring people without an interview process.
without an interview, yep, he just
Wow.
making direct offers. And for people who are threatening to leave, they said it's been a long-standing company policy that they don't raise your salary. You remember back in the day, you go to your job and be like, "I'm gonna leave here if y'all don't pay me my money."
Mm-hmm.
He's said to have lifted that policy, and if his people are requesting more money so they stay, he paying it.
So these are people that he know that he's hiring without an interview process?
Yeah, so there's
Like
two
people
different
that's
categories.
already in the company.
Yeah, so there's two different categories. The one category is people who are requesting more money, not to leave. He's saying, cool, I'll lift the policy. You can ask more money for more money. And the other is people that are working for Google, their AI division, which is called DeepMind. He's trying to get those people to come over to Meta. So he's bringing those people over without an interview.
Oh, okay. So if you work for Google,
Yeah,
they're gonna automatically get, usher you in.
right.
No doubt. Okay, got it. It's not just people, anybody that need a job. Like Junebug from up the street won't be hired without an interview process, right?
No, he need AI researchers
Okay, got it.
specifically. And of course, he's going to try to poach from one of the largest AI research firms, which is Google DeepMind.
I
Okay.
mean, that all sounds about right. When companies do mass hires like that, I've experienced that. I've been a part of it as well. So they will just straight up go. They take a look at whatever their AI database, as far as taking a look at resumes.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it targets specific key terms. So yeah, I could see that to where that's probably legit. Just to get talent in, and then as they've budgeted, things either go good, or if you've over budgeted, or projects get completed, then I could see them laying off to cut down on that budget expense. So I mean, that stuff happens, all the time, unfortunately, in corporate America. That's the name of the game.
Mm. And I'm going to put an article in the chat that I think is really informative that kind of talks about the economic cycle that happens when there's technological innovation. It was a good read for me. Some people may not find it that interesting, but I think it's pretty cool. So then I want to share one other article. Let me go ahead and put it in the chat. And this kind of speaks to what you were just mentioning, B Starks. So this is a ABC News article, and it says the headline says AI could eliminate nearly 8 million jobs in the UK, a study finds. And this article came out yesterday morning. So typically, one of the things that I've been hearing when I start to have this AI conversation is right away, people be like, it's gonna take my job. It's gonna eliminate jobs. I don't like AI because it's gonna take jobs. So you and I, Dr. Mathis, have some very strong opinions about that. Do you want to speak to what is your response when
I
people
mean,
say that?
yeah. So when people say that, my response is uh, the AI is not going to take your jobs. The people that are learning AI and becoming AI adjacent will take your job. So, so you're looking at it the wrong way. So you could be one of those people that pivot, become AI adjacent, and learn those jobs. So, learn those skill set. I mean, not the job, but the skill set, and
Yeah.
get certified. So that's what you want.
Yeah, and we're going to kind of speak to some of the pathways and things into artificial intelligence, into cybersecurity, and now into risk and compliance because my boy is in the building.
Mhm.
Oh, you
How
on
y'all
mute?
doing?
Good. How you
Hey.
doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Sorry I'm late.
No, it's all good. Hey, Thomas, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. What y'all talking about? Y'all talking about AI?
Man, we talk about AI. We're gonna jump into a little cybersecurity, and then we're gonna roll in your lane and risk and compliance.
Whoa, damn. Okay, all right.
And so, if you can, Thomas, we had you on, I think, on a relationship night, so people don't really know who you are professionally, kind of what you do. So, Thomas, can you speak to what you do?
Damn, you know what? I got put on the spot. All right. So yeah, I work in the cybersecurity in the GRC space. So that's governance, risk, and compliance. So it's pretty much everything from policies, procedures, risk assessments, total evaluations of different industries, right? That's what I like about my job because I get to work in different industries. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm actually a manager. I do consulting work on the side. So yeah.
Mhm. He's that boy. Thomas, a lot of people don't know that there are like government regulations in regards to data, in
Yeah.
regards to kind of record retention, all of those things, that wander in the cybersecurity space. Like that's a form really of cybersecurity.
Yep. So like NIST is a big one. That's NIST. It's called NIST. They
You
have
can
different
put it in the chat.
you can look into. I'm sorry, what?
Can we put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Let me type it in.
yeah. So yep, you talk about that's what the government is. A lot of companies, as Thomas alluding to, National Institute of Standards of Technology for Cybersecurity Framework. So that's what he put in. That's what NIST stands for. Definitely is the framework and the model that a lot of companies in this industry, in the private sectors as well as the government space, that's like a guide to risk and compliance in the cybersecurity.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this and what I do is when you get put in these situations or scenarios where maybe you got to deal with incident response or there's a data breach or anything like that, you don't have to make uh, um, subjective. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm drinking right now, so that's why I'm a little frustrated. You
It's
don't have
all
to make
good.
like as far as the action plan. You have everything written already within the framework, so you just go to the framework and go to that. It basically irons out what the process is for incident response, or if you get like a data breach or you get hit with ransomware, you're actually they have steps on how you negotiate with bad actors, to get data back and things like that. All that stuff is already written out. So luckily, I have not worked for a company that has got hit with ransomware, but I have worked for a company that has worked with other companies that have got hit with ransomware. So, it's a scary thing because when that happens, all of your data tends to get it's all encrypted, right? They hold your data, they hold it captive. So you have those things. There's all kinds of risks and factors that go into that. But yeah, so NIST is one of my favorites. You also have High Trust. High Trust is a good one. This one is it's a certifiable framework where you can actually get a certificate, you know, once you complete your assessment. You actually have third party assessors come in and they actually look at all your controls. So control is like access control, or it can be identity access management. These are different types of controls that you can have, and there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what I do in a nutshell. It's fun.
It sounds like it. So just kind of in a nutshell, really, right? When you're talking about access controls, we're talking about, when you scanning your badge and stuff when you enter your job. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, so it's that. It's also authentication, like how you have like multi-factor authentication, MFA. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of that because most apps require it nowadays. It's a requirement within their cybersecurity posture. So people don't realize that this is probably the most vulnerable tool that we have on us because of the apps that are installed. I mean, all of our sensitive and personal data is on these phones, these smartphones that we have, and then we don't realize how much access these apps have to our data in the phones, and we give them that access. Whenever you download the app and you read all this jargon, you're agreeing to them to basically collect your data and then either sell it, pass it on to somebody else, or do God knows what with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
funny story is when I used to work at Frontier Communications, right?
Mhm.
And I had a penetration tester guy sitting behind me. I worked in a SOC environment where they used to basically they handled all kinds of cyber threats that came in. But the penetration guy, this guy lived off the grid. So he didn't have no phone, no ID. He didn't use Visa cards. I said, how did you get the job? Like it was stuff that he wouldn't tell me. He used to work for the NSA. and he was a military vet like Brian. He worked in the Air Force, and he told me a funny story, that he had got an offer to work in the Area 51. So I don't know if you guys are aware of that. If I got any conspiracy theorists on the call, anybody? But
You
yeah.
know what it is?
Yeah, right.
So that was a funny story. So we go out getting barbecue. This dude, he disappeared. Yeah, I had to get some cash. Where'd you go to get the cash from? Like I could have got you. But a real cool dude. But just interesting, like how he lived his life, being off the grid and things like that, because all of our data is open. It's out there for the taking. I mean, if you give your phone number away, to someone, you might as well give them your address. I can find out where you live from your phone number. Not me personally. I mean, I can't, but I'm not going to. You know what I'm saying?
Thompson, I ain't gonna do it. I can't do it, but and it's crazy to your point. Even that example that you used, Thomas, about the gentleman. To know we're talking about somebody who has access to the information. We ain't talking about some crazy, what we say is crazy backwoods person. Like, this is somebody who got access to the information, who are in these agencies that control this data.
Yeah.
He's saying, we need to be off the grid.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, I'm kind of like, damn. I'm already in the weeds. Like once I started figuring this stuff out, obviously, I mean, I've been in cybersecurity for roughly around 10 years, and I've been in IT for a total of about 14 years now. Once I started figuring all this stuff out, I mean, I already had these accounts set up. I already had my smartphone. I'm already in it. I'm like, you know what? There's only so much you can do to protect yourself. If you're going to live in this society, the best way to, if you really want to protect your data, the best way to do it is to get off the grid, go live in the forest somewhere, get off Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You're going to do that though,
You're absolutely right. And I had a conversation after our last live, and a friend of mine was saying, like, it just kind of sounds like conspiracy theorists and like, kind of like fear mongering and all that stuff. But the more you know for real, not what you're speculating, what you guessing, what you think, the more you know, the more frightening it is.
Yep. Hey, fun fact. Did y'all know that the word conspiracy was actually created by the CIA to desensitize the human brain programming? It's true.
Say it again. Say it again.
That's where the word comes from. And
Absolutely.
It's so easy to throw conspiracy theories into the pitch, and then now everybody's looking at you like, this dude probably losing some screws, probably got some screws loose. And a lot of that stuff is true again. So especially if it's the opposite of what the government is telling you, it's probably true. So yeah,
and I know I have said this before. I know Dr. Mathis is of the like mind, and so is Brian. We don't mind being the crazy person in the room. Eventually, people realize that we are not the crazy person.
They didn't believe Jesus. They didn't believe Noah when he told them the flood was coming. So it won't be the first time.
Yeah, I mean, everything sounds crazy till it don't.
Yep.
And then you like, oh, right? So, yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff. So I do kind of want to jump around really quick and talk about some of what the job market looks like in your respective industries, with risk and compliance. Thomas and we've had conversation about representation, right? In your space. I don't know if you want to speak to that. I can have Brian kind of speak first to cybersecurity.
Are you talking about the level of job opportunities that there are out here, or the environments in which, corporate America, folks that look like me, what that looks like, or both?
So that got to be a whole new call.
Okay, all right.
A whole nother live. But maybe speaking to what opportunities is available.
Yeah, it's a ton of opportunities, especially if you're not privy towards remote roles. I only work remote roles, fully remote, so I just be at the house, You know what I'm saying? But if you are open to travel, open to like once you do that, it even broadens up even more. There's a ton of opportunity. There's also a ton of competition as well. But as long as you can get in the room with these folks, 90% of the time, you'll get the job. Because what I've found through putting in applications, you're going to get rejection letters. You're going to get a ton of those. You got to blast these applications. I'm talking about 30 to 50 apps a day, on the calls with, get on the call with, the recruiters. Right now, and I know we talked about this before, I'm trying to work on putting together a course to show folks how to get into this space with no experience and get into the GRC space where you're making six figures within that first 90 days. That's what I'm working on putting together. And I know once you get that interview, when you get that call to get on the interview, you've now jumped up to 80%. Like you got to just come across that 20 percentile range. And really the 10 percentile is just, they want to just know you personable. Like, if you know how to talk, you know how to speak, they're going to probably ask you some general questions, especially when what I do in GRC, it's not technical. So they can see everything that you've done on your resume. You just got to be able to speak to everything on your resume. They're not going to ask you, out of the wall questions. And typically if they do, it's rare. I've been on plenty of interviews, and 9 times out of 10, if I get an interview, I know I'm going to get the job.
Yeah.
Because just get me in a room full of people who are not looking at my skin complexion, who are not, if I want to work for those people anyway. That's just my mindset. If I get in the room and they start looking at me weird, or I start getting vibes that, okay, this ain't it, I don't want to work there. So I'm interviewing them too. That's just the mindset you got to have. It's going both ways. Do I want to work for you?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What kind of manager are you? I gotta talk to you 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I got to interview with you when you interviewing me.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And
So make sure you got questions on the interview too.
And that's one of the things that I think many of us miss, is really understanding that you are also interviewing that company to see if that's something that you want to be a part of. So to go into an interview without having questions and an inquiry about that company is really a missed opportunity.
Yeah. You gotta have questions. I know I'm gonna have at least 3 to 5 questions. You gotta have your set of references too, people that can back up, what you say. And the cool thing about this is a lot of times it's folks that you probably worked with in the past, you know what I mean? And you calling them ahead of time, letting them know, hey, I'm gonna use you as a reference. Somebody gonna give you a call. Just, hey, talk about X, Y, and Z when we work together. I literally had to do this for somebody like 2 weeks ago. And it turned out to be, I thought I was being interviewed. I'm like, damn, they asked me all these questions. I'm like, I've been saying nothing but good things about this dude. I'm like, oh, he gonna get the job.
Yeah.
I'll hire this guy, giving the dude all kinds of kudos and things like that. But now it sounds harder than it is, right? The type of work that I do, but it's really not hard at all. Anybody can do it. I'm not joking. Anybody can do this line of work. It's a few things that you have to know. It's a bit of a learning curve if you don't know anything about technology. But once you start, like, if you surround yourself by something and you start to kind of obsess over it, YouTube University, if it's a phrase that you don't know, type it in. Like NIST, for instance, somebody just put in the abbreviation for it. You can go on there. It's a publication website. You can start looking up these different publications that they have on there. Look at the they have implementation guidance. So you can also see how these controls are implemented into an environment. They literally have step-by-step on how you implement the controls too. So all I'm doing in my job is getting with engineers. They're doing the work. I ain't doing it. I'm just telling you, hey, this is the requirement. We supposed to have this in place.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Yeah.
They go in there, the engineers, they go in there and they set that up. Guess what happens if a server goes down? They ain't calling my phone, they're calling the engineer's phone. That's why I like my job.
Yeah.
Great.
And in essence, you are just making sure all the boxes are checked.
Yeah. Exactly.
So they doing the work to make sure that it's functional, and you just making sure it's in place. And I think that's pretty dope. I had the opportunity to look at kind of your foundational program, your teaching platform, and it's comprehensive. It's comprehensive. And so, kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about it from. I'm trying to put myself in someone's shoes that is not where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to think. Okay, what would I want to know? Okay, what is cybersecurity? And then we get behind that. What's IT? What's I don't know, because everybody has different levels. You come into the when you come into the table and you try to learn this stuff, different people know different things. You know, you might have been an engineer or you might have done some support role in IT, so you may know about routers, servers, and switches and things like that. You may know some things about IT. So everybody has different levels, you know. So that's one thing I be thinking about. Like, okay, let me try to broaden it so I can catch all, you know, kind of do like a one-stop catch-all, and then answer individual questions. I got people be reaching out to me on Instagram when I put down comments or when I see folks, you know, those interviews where folks are asking random people on the streets what they do for a living, and then they say, "Oh yeah, I work in GRC," or "I'm a software developer," and they say how much money they're making. I get in the comments and I be like, "This is true. This is
Yeah.
this is fact."
Yeah. It's valid because, again, a lot of people don't understand the layers
Yeah,
that are in cybersecurity. And I think Brian uses the analogy of like cybersecurity is like the ocean.
hmm
You kind of get in it, and there's so many different avenues and pathways that you can take,
yeah, it is.
specialties and things that you can learn, and certifications that you can receive. And so, one of the things that I think is important to really be having a conversation about is, one, all of the opportunities that are available, and then how do we find them? How do you find, opportunities in cybersecurity?
Right.
And what are the requirements? Like, do you have to have a degree, in computer
Good question.
science? Do you
Good
have to
Yeah.
have
question.
any
So
bachelor's?
we're gonna speak to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have B Starks. If you can kind of speak to just kind of some of the opportunities that may be available. What are you seeing? Like, what's the need?
Yeah, I mean, Thomas, he touched basis on it, but you know, what I normally tell people is get a mentor. Get with the mentor, get with someone in the industry that can help guide you in the right direction. I just happen to have thousands and thousands of students that still reach out to me after a week, 2 weeks, even years. Hey, I need some mentorship. Okay, so that's something that I've been able to do is help people just based on the conversation having with someone that doesn't have any background in IT or anything, just based on their personality on what they love to do. I'm able to go in and have those conversations, and then I can pretty much pinpoint what path that they would like to take. For instance, if you are a person that you're an introvert, you don't like to, you just want to kind of do your thing in the background. You don't want to have to talk to a lot of people. So you want to go the engineering route. All right. So take a look at engineering in either IT or cybersecurity. If you're a social butterfly type person, um, you like to be able to talk, you don't mind talking to vendors. Okay. You may want to go the analyst, all right, portion. So you get the best of both worlds. You can actually collaborate with teams, vendors, and you can be able to share some of the technical knowledge and implementations in an analyst role. And then if you just love to talk to people in general, you have a niche for project management. You like to lead on certain projects. You may want to go to project management or Scrum Master. All of these jobs in the cybersecurity realm are all paying six figures. And then if you're someone that loves to, I had a student actually today that wanted to reach out to Thomas because I shared with Thomas or shared with the student that uh, if you were into governance, if you want to take a look and you like writing, you like documentation, all right, you don't want to learn the technical side of things, You don't want to have to do a whole lot of talking. You may want to try, and if you have any background in, I think she has a background in law. She was a paralegal, so she's got really a really great platform already to where she's already been doing risk and compliance. She just doesn't know that she has. So I brought it to her attention and she immediately agreed and says, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Now, the next step is people ask me, okay, what steps do I take? Now I understand my path, I understand where to go. What steps do I need to take to get there? And so, in essence, having those conversations, showing them the path, okay, and then teaching them the basic fundamentals. I mean, we all, with all of us, we are technical in our own rights. But as Isha, you've been in my classes this week, I
Mhm.
taught ethical hacking, and we talked about one specific type of malware, and I broke that thing down for 2 days just to
Mm.
give people an idea. So the one the one thing that I share with people, learn something and become a master at that thing and then bring value. So
Mhm.
people don't have the technical knowledge, they still have yet to understand it. So the one great benefit that I'm blessed to have is I can reach my people and break things down to its basic level. um, Relationships, we talk about relationships, we understand there's vulnerabilities, there's risk, and there's threats in relationships. That all ties with cybersecurity, and that is something that we all understand because all of us have been married. All of us have been in relationships. We're still trying to build relationships. So cybersecurity is not hard at all. You just have to understand the concepts, the basic concepts. And then last but not least, but what I do to my students is I give them real world situations, real things they can actually do now that they're actually going to be doing on the job. So that's one of the great benefits that I have. It's setting my people up for success. It's not about all about what you know, but Thomas echoed it. It's not. It's about who you know and what value do you bring to gain an opportunity. You don't have to be the most technical person. You don't know how to hack. You don't have to understand risk and compliance. Are you adaptable? Are you coachable? Are you teachable? How do you mesh well with others? You like to be social with people? All right. It's all about a team meshing together. And again, I teach the fundamentals of what we're all learning and what we actually do in the industry, so that my students already have value by the time that they get to that interview. And then after that, it's just them killing it.
Dope. Fantastic. I appreciate you, brothers, for breaking that down. We're going to shift gears for a second and hop to Dr. Mathis. And we are going to talk about opportunities that AI is creating for creatives, for filmmakers. So, what are you seeing, Doc?
Man, we just did a live last night where we were talking about Sora. And Sora is a platform that's under the OpenAI brand. And the CEO over there, Sam Altman, had meetings past couple of days ago with studios, filmmakers, executives in Hollywood, sharing this new platform, sharing the capabilities, what it's going to be able to do. And some of the short films that have been created with this particular technology. So one of the films that was getting a lot of attention is this film called Airhead that Walter Whitman, a filmmaker, produced by the name of Walter Whitman. And it's basically a guy just riding his bicycle throughout the city. And, it starts out by showing the feet, showing the road, and then it scans up to his body. And what the airhead is, it's a yellow balloon. So you see this guy on this bicycle with the airhead, with the yellow balloon, and it's really just showing you how to go from text to video. So none of these scenes are real. Everything is created through the world of imagination, where you took text, prompted Sora, and it created these movies. So those are some of the opportunities there as it relates to filmmaking, because what it does is, there are no gatekeepers. You don't need permission to create a film now. You don't need a budget from, these big Hollywood studios. The only thing you're going to need now is your computer, your cell phone, and your imagination. I heard someone say that your imagination is the greatest currency that we have. The ability to imagine and to be authentic. So that's one of the main opportunities that I'm really excited about and really looking forward to, because I know the time that it takes to cast the people, to scout the locations, and produce the content. That takes time. So we're heading into a very unique and amazing time. So I'm excited about it. So if you don't know about Sora, Sora, I'll put that in the chat.
Okay.
Definitely look it up and be like me and wait until it's released, because right now it's in beta.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I'm hearing, and obviously as an entrepreneur, as a business strategist, what I see is the ability to transition into other things. So, for instance, if I'm a writer, now with Sora, I have the ability to write and produce film, produce content.
Mm-hmm.
What if I'm a dreamer, right? I got crazy lucid dreams, but I can type my dreams and now create films or
Mm-hmm.
create short films. And so as far as opportunities, man, to your point, it's wide open.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be
It's
endless. So I challenge any producers, actors, actresses, writers, editors to pivot into the world of creation right now, because the jobs one particular actress was on the set on social media the other day, Jasmine Burke. And that's somebody that I know. I remember when she first started her career here in Atlanta. She's been on Saints and Sinners and, a lot of the other TV series and movies. But she was literally on set with the camera and saying, hey, a lot has changed since the pandemic. A lot has changed since the strike. We're not getting callbacks like we used to. We're not getting the opportunities like we used to. And that's because the times are changing. So what's going to happen now, she's going to have to pivot and learn these new AI tools. Or if she don't, she's going to get left behind. So it was literally a call out to other actors, actresses saying, hey, we need to talk. Whether you're just getting into business, or you've been seasoned in the business, we need to talk, because something's happening here and we need to figure out what's happening and what our plan is going to be, how we're going to pivot.
mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and that's really a warning, and to everybody. I don't care what your industry is, to
mm-hmm.
really be considering a diversification of your skill set. Like really be thinking about how can I transition into something else right now, engaging with AI. For real, for real. So,
Yeah.
like you said, to your point, you an actor, you an actress, you better be trying to figure out how to transition into creation,
Mm-hmm. Becoming a producer.
becoming a producer, creating content.
Yeah.
It's so easy to create content now. Like there's no barriers.
Mm-hmm.
None. Actually, I think it's one.
What?
And it's fear.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And when I'm talking to people, it's crazy. As soon as you start to talk AI, they scared. I had a conversation with a teacher just the other night, so this kind of segue into our next topic. I spoke with her last night and about AI implementation in the classroom. And one of the things that she said was, over 20 years, she said, I'm an old school teacher. And the word that she used actually was dinosaur. And she said, for those of us who have been in education for a very long time, I'm scared of AI. And I said, why are you scared of AI? Have you seen any of the innovation in education in regards to AI? And she was like, no. I said, well, there's a software that helps to assess students' learning ability, right? So it assesses how they learn and creates curriculum that's student specific, right? So if you're trying to teach multiplication and you have one student who learns one way, the AI will create a curriculum based on how they learn. Okay. And so, and I asked her, I said, if you have 20 students in your classroom and you are trying to teach one particular concept, how long would it take for you to learn each student's learning ability and how they learn to create a curriculum for them? She said it's impossible. So I'm saying, why are you afraid of AI then?
People are afraid of what they don't know.
But you're saying that's a limitation. That's something that you can't do. And I am telling you, here is a tool that you can be adjacent with, that you can partner with to take that barrier away and meet the needs of your students.
She might have watched too much Terminator, coming up.
For real.
An iRobot. That iRobot got them all scared, boy.
Yeah, them Teslas started coming out. I'm like, damn, here we go.
Right.
Woo, I remember that.
Look, we don't want to put fear in. We don't want to be the fear monger.
No.
What we're looking to do is to empower you, to have you look fear in the eyes and conquer that fear, because at the end of the day, fear is an illusion, false evidence appearing real. So, yeah, we really looking to empower you, but
and I say, fear only exists in your mind. It don't exist nowhere else. It ain't tangible. If I'm afraid, that don't mean he afraid. That's something that only exists in your mind. So that's the one thing that you have control over. So while we're talking about AI and education, if we have any educators that are watching, I just want to drop a couple tools and some things that are available in regards to AI for you to maybe start looking into and just becoming comfortable with, because it is going to help you. There is automated grading platforms in AI. So platforms that will help you grade, right? That will help you with writing, help you assess students' writing, will give you improvements to help make their writing better. It will help you with planning. It will help you with curriculum creation. There is some adaptive learning platforms. So I know Carnegie Learning has one, and Newton has one as well. So again, those are platforms where they're doing customized learning. So they're allowing students to take assessments and are grading in real time and creating curriculums that's creating pathways for them that are student specific. And so if you are interested, shoot me a message, inbox me, and I can connect you with some of those resources that are available. And there was an article that came out in MSNBC, and they did some research, and they said 60% of educators are using AI currently. 60%.
In what way? Well, how are they using it?
In different ways. A lot of them obviously are using now ChatGPT. I know I've spoken to educators myself that are using ChatGPT.
Yeah, you can actually, if you have the paid version, ChatGPT version 4, you can actually upload documents. It'll scan it, read it. You just ask it to do certain things. Hey, rewrite this, or go through it. Like you were saying, check for punctuation or grammar error. It'll do all that.
Yeah, and give suggestions. I used it for a resume. A friend of mine asked me to take a look at their resume. And I kind of knew some of the things that I wanted to adjust, and I just wanted to see what ChatGPT would say. And it really gave me some solid feedback, you know what I'm saying, about it. And so definitely look into ChatGPT by OpenAI.
Yeah. Now there's one thing too I want to touch on that because you got to be careful as far as I know students using it for school. They do have tools like AI plagiarism tools that search for AI plagiarism. So that's a real thing. So, but then they have tools that combat that too. So,
Yes.
that's the funny
So
thing about it.
you're absolutely right. And most of the school districts already have restrictions in place,
Mhm.
and have already, as you know, put policies in place around that. They put restrictions so students can't access AI powered tools like that while they're in school. And so I am talking to educators. I am not talking to students. Students, y'all need to still be writing. You need to still be doing your due diligence. I am not talking to you. Okay. And so, also chat bots for student support.
Mm.
So, for instance, if students are having trouble with math, some educators are creating chat bots to help them. So they upload their curriculum into the chat bots, and that is used as a resource to help support students while they're not in class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're talking to educators, we ain't talking to students. All right. Anything else? Any other tools that you guys can think of around education and AI? Are you guys seeing anything? I know Thomas, you've created your kind of course,
Mm-hmm.
and you're working on that. Or any AI implementation in
Yeah,
that?
so I actually just wrote a piece, some guidance for a company that I was working for. I was doing some work for, and basically focusing on best practices. So when you look at AI like ChatGPT, all these different AI solutions, they have privacy policies. And within that privacy policy, you're going to see certain things around the data and how they use the data. So this is something where kind of red flags go up for me, my cybersecurity thinking mind. You can't control what people put into these platforms if they have access to the web, right? If they can go onto the website, they can type in confidential information about the company. They can type in things that are very sensitive, like PII, personal information, depending on what industry it is. Let's say, for instance, you're working in the banking industry and you're trying to type in something, but you're using sensitive information from your company, which is completely out of bounds, it's out of line, right? You're being breached. You're breaching someone else's data. But what happens is once you put that data into Chat GPT, for instance, they have that data, it's theirs. You read the privacy policy, they can trade it off to third parties. You really can't control it. So I wrote a policy and basically specified best practices, right? Don't put in any sensitive information. Don't put in any confidential data. Now you can also do like have restrictions set to actually restrict certain AI websites.
Charger not
You
working.
know, say again?
Oh, sorry, y'all. I'm having some technical difficulties. Keep
Yeah,
going.
you good, you good. But yeah, from the cybersecurity space, that's one of the elements that I'm looking at. Obviously, AI is such a trendy thing right now, and our developers are using AI, to write code and things like that. But then you have the common regular user um, that's going to use like a free source like ChatGPT. And one of the key areas of risk there is in regards to the data and the information that they're putting into these platforms because they're not controlled by our systems. It's all someone else, right? And in ChatGPT, they have their own flaws as well. Yeah, they've been breached before. I think it was what was it, 2%, 2% of their users. I read an article about it, but they have over 1 billion subscribers. So it was like 1.2 million people, 1.2 million of their subscribers. Their data got leaked. So you have these companies like ChatGPT, probably the one you mentioned earlier. These companies are being targeted by bad actors, and those bad actors are using it. They're trying to basically, you know, um, they're trying to basically breach the data, or they'll try to come in with ransomware and try to get some money out of these companies. So, that's what's happening right now as we speak. That's what keeps me employed. So I ain't got to worry about AI taking my job.
That's what keeps
I gotta write
employed.
the policies,
Yeah. And that's what keeps Brian employed too, right?
Exactly.
So to your point, and it's crazy, and we touched on this a little bit too a couple of lives ago. Not only are bad actors trying to infiltrate these platforms, but they are also using these platforms, right, to infiltrate everything else.
Yep, they're using it, and then they're using it. Oh man, it's crazy. You hear so many horror stories about companies that have gotten hacked with AI bots. Like AI bots is doing all. They can literally sound like anybody, look like anybody. It's insane. I mean, I saw AI creating music and videos and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's insane. So you have bad actors that are using that power for negative reasons to try to get money, and they're getting away with millions of dollars. This has been happening, but now with AI, it's just like, okay, we got to really be on our P's and Q's, and really just pay attention. That's where it's, security and user awareness training. That's a huge thing in what I do.
Yeah.
It's just basically educating the users, educating the folks that are using the systems every day, because they're the ones that are putting the company at risk, right? They're the ones that are holding the keys, and they have the access, right? So if they get bamboozled by email that comes in, the whole company can go out of business. Once you have bad reputation from customers, now the company can literally get shut down, go out of business. And you have to, by law, you have to notify customers when the data is breached. You have to.
Yeah, and more companies too, to your point, and I know that you can speak to this because you have experience. More companies are writing AI specific policies, right? And it's talking about their employees' usage of AI and limitations on how they use it, kind of to the same example that you use, right? Don't be putting our data
exactly
in open AI. So I know you probably have some experience writing some of those policies.
Yep. That's exactly what I've done, and I've done it multiple times. And again, I always say my thing is restrict it, lock it down. Want to be on the safe side. And they have local applications or software that you can use that's not tied to a network. It's not tied to a server or a system. So it's in-house, and you can brand it. You can use it internally in the company, and it's just the data is controlled. It's within your data environment, so it doesn't go outside of your network. And that's kind of what I was piecing together. I had kind of put some presentation together and presented it. But that was one of the things that I had to do recently, actually a couple months ago.
Yeah, and I'd love for you to consider just coming back, kind of doing just a live, specifically speaking to kind of the apps, the usage, some of the things that you spoke of, because we do have to have more dialogue about how to use it, how to protect ourselves while we're using it. Just kind of speaking to that user awareness piece.
Yeah.
So B Starks, you and Dr. Mathis over there quiet. Y'all good?
Oh yeah.
I've been talking too much.
I'm soaking up game over here,
Yeah, I mean, we learning today, and that's why we do this, and that's why we have dialogue, again, to kind of help ease some of those fears around how we engage with AI, how we use it, and also how we protect ourselves. I was just thinking, Thomas, when you were talking about just AI from a cybersecurity standpoint, we're talking about something that is able to test systems, check for its vulnerability, then create or morph itself, right, to attack that specific vulnerability. Like, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So, and that's why you want to have certain tools in place, like a SIM. You want to have like reporting tools, like tools that are constantly scanning your environment, scanning your network, and looking at the traffic that's coming in and out of the network. Um, that's why you want to have that constantly. And then you also want to have daily reports where you're meeting with the administrators of those tools and you're going through the reports and you're looking at the data. You might see a flux of data that's irregular, right? Let's just say it's not within a trend, and you do this every quarter, and now you're saying there's so many gigs that's being passed through. Well, that's a red flag right there. What's going on in this area? That's when you have certain cyber investigations that take place. So there's so many different things that thankfully that we have at play, so many different tools that you have that commonly are used within the industry that can help block those things from happening before
Great.
that.
We appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
real quick, we're right at the top of an hour. I kind of want to talk to you, gentlemen, about your courses and kind of what you guys have around educating people, getting people certified. So, I'm going to jump to Dr. Mathis. Dr. Mathis, if you can kind of talk to, I know you got two kind of things going simultaneously, kind of your education and what you're doing around AI, and then you got the AI filmmaking course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're currently producing an event. So we have an event coming up on April the 7th. It's going to be here in Atlanta, over in the Virginia Highland area, and that's right near downtown. It's like right on the edge of downtown, kind of downtown, but a little bit, eastward. But we have what's called a digital daydreaming party. And what will happen at this event is we have about 3 or 4 people that will speak to what's going on in the world of AI as it relates to creating content and different tools and AI platforms that you can use to create AI. Just to name a few, of course, you have Jasper AI. If you're looking to do anything with writing, you have Hey Gen if you're looking to create avatars. You have Pencil for marketing. You have Suno AI, which will, like you was talking about, Thomas, create a song. So it's a ton of apps, tools, platforms that you can use, and they're constantly being created every day. So what we're doing is we're creating a networking event so that you can now talk to other people, um, have networking parties, networking exercises to share this information. We also have a network that I invite you all to join on Mighty Network, and I'll put the invite in the comment section where you can become a part of this AI community that's going to share information, that's going to share tips, that's going to share different events that you can attend that's talking about this information because, we got to make this information accessible. We have to make it where, it's not woo woo and scary and all of that. So people can like easily get into it, which is why we're calling this a digital daydreaming party because, Black folks love to party. If you want to get black people together, get some food, get some drinks, and some music. Those three things right there, black people are there. So that's what we're doing. April 7th, I'll put the flyer in the comment section as well. And also, what we're doing is, creating the courses, the AI courses to so that you can share this information. I know you were talking earlier, Thomas. There are different platforms and tools that will help you create that course like that. Where they'll create the transcript, they'll clone an avatar yourself, and you would be, conveying this information. And when this transcript and all that stuff has already been written for you. So it's like easy to do right now. The thing is, you just have the imagination, and the motivation to create these things. So that's what's up on the horizon for me. Let me put this in the chat. Can you attach images? I don't think you can attach.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just comments. But if you can, maybe drop your contact
Yeah, I
info
can put
because I
the
know.
what
You
I'll
got
do is I'll go to Facebook and I will put a copy and paste the information so you can have the information here.
I appreciate that. And as I said, Facebook is having some technical difficulties with live. They sent out a message saying that they were having some trouble and it would be resolved soon. So I know we are going to just post the recording on Facebook for this, but we are live on YouTube. So I appreciate it. I see it. I see the info, Dr. Mathis.
Okay, and let me just put the RSVP information for Eventbrite here.
And if you can, also put your socials, your contact information, so people can be connected to what you've got going on, what you got coming up.
Got it. Got it.
All right. And Thomas, you touched on your course earlier. I know it's kind of still in that development piece.
Yeah.
But do you have like either social media people can kind of follow you so we can keep up to date?
Do. It's not. I'm such in the early phase. I haven't created one specifically for this course. But what I
Okay.
will do is I'll put my contact information in. And
Okay.
what I was hoping even to do was to kind of just get like a rally and see how many folks are interested in joining a free workshop that I want to put together. I have my boy Brian on there. Brian, I don't know if he told you guys, we used to work together. We used to work together back in the day at our architect firm, and we were both in support roles, and we were both kind of like jumping into cybersecurity. He was actually the first to do it within the group, and I just kind of followed what he did. We both went our separate ways in cyber, but it took me having to see him, actually put some effort together and actually see him do it. Once I saw him do it, I was like, okay, cool. I'm about to do the same thing. And then boom, I was able to roll into the cybersecurity world. But now it's even better because you don't have to, go to school like we did. We also went to school together as well. We got our bachelor's degree in information systems, cybersecurity. But nowadays, you don't need a degree to get into cybersecurity. You don't have to have security clearance to get into cybersecurity. You do have to have a good background. All right. So if you got any felonies, we'll have conversations about that. There's even workarounds around that if you want to go into cybersecurity, getting in the entrepreneur realm, because you can use your business instead of your personal. It's workarounds for everything. It's loopholes for everything. But the point of what I'm saying is, now it's easier to get in this space than when I was just getting started, 15 years ago. So, I want to put together a free workshop and, just collect people's contact information, get people's contact information, see who's who's interested.
Yeah.
And, hopefully get some folks into my industry.
So what I'll do is I'll create some like a contact and they can kind of go through us because we're going to do some things together. We're going to do some workshops together where we're talking about all of our industries and how and pathways to get into that. And so if you're interested, make sure you send me a message at Isha Nicole and I'll make sure that I get you Thomas's information or Brian's information or Dr. Mathis to make sure that we get you connected. So I appreciate y'all. So real quick, if y'all have any apps, anything that y'all are using right now that the people need to know about, I'm gonna drop mine and then I'm gonna throw it to y'all. So I've been using Spill. Any of y'all use Spill?
No. How you spell it? SPILL?
Yeah. Spill.
I spill the beans.
Just like you spill the tea.
Okay, now let me pull that up. It's so many.
For
it's
those
crazy.
who don't know, that is being dubbed the new Black Twitter. Okay, Spill, SPILL. So it was created by Alonzo Terrell and Tavares Brown, two gentlemen who work for X or Twitter, and who was laid off last year and decided to create, a platform that's driven by the culture.
Mhm.
And so there's it's visual conversation at the speed of the culture. That's their tagline.
Mm.
Wow.
Cool.
Mhm. Um,
Spill.
it
Okay.
says like creating and sharing pictures, memes, gifs, just like on Twitter.
Mm.
It launched in January, and initially, when it launched, it was by invite only, kind of like how Clubhouse rolled out. Y'all remember where you had to be invited
Mhm.
to get on Clubhouse, but it's open now. They just opened it up, so yeah, get on there, get engaged. That's our platform that gives us voice, and so it's Spill. And another one is Script. Script, just like a script for a movie. It's a platform that will help you in writing, no matter what it is that you write. So it's Script. It's pretty easy to remember.
Okay, I think I
Thank-
saw that one. Yeah, that you can use that for like script writing and photo.
Yep. You can use it for script writing. You can use it for
Mm-hmm.
emails. You can use it
Mm-hmm.
for course creation.
Nice.
Yep.
That one I might look into for sure because I got to send out a bunch of emails, and I have my email templates when I'm sending them out to like a mass amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I may look into that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's a cool platform. So if it's anything that you are writing, like long or short form writing, check out Script. And the last thing that I want to mention, and this ain't no plug to Apple, but y'all, I'm holding out for the iPhone 16 because it has the A18 Pro chip, which is gonna have all of these AI features.
Oh, y'all just not getting that? Y'all about, y'all,
Um,
So when is that coming
I'm
out?
so excited.
When is it coming out?
Just can't hide it.
I got
In
my
the
Android.
fall, huh?
I say, I got my Android. I'm just that was a little shade, but it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. We've been had the Android. We've been had the AI stuff. I'm just saying, y'all kind of late.
Well, see, here's the thing. So obviously, all the smartphones have it's driven by AI, right, in different aspects. But there are some new features. I encourage y'all to check them out. You can go to either Apple's page or go to YouTube and watch the Apple announcement
Mhm.
about the iPhone 16 and just listen to some of the features that are available. All smartphones got AI, but Apple about to show out. So I'm just
We'll
saying,
see.
I'm just saying. Because hey, I got an Android too. I got an Android and I got an iPhone. See what I'm saying? Apple agree.
Okay.
Apple agree. I have an iPhone and I have an Android, and I must say I use my Apple phone more than I do my Android. So any other apps that y'all are using and y'all every day?
Let's see. Do. Mid Journey is good. Mid Journey, um, Runway ML has a lot of apps within that. Uh, what's another one?
And so these are
Pencil.
like image creation, video creation.
You say anything? Now there's one that I need to top check out called Top View AI. So I need to check that one out. But yeah, it's a few of them. So yeah, a few of them that I'm looking.
Yeah. So we talked a lot about AI apps. Come on, security apps. I got in trouble this week for not using a VPN, but he over here in the corner quiet. You gonna talk about VPNs? Hmm?
I mean, it's always fine. It's always good to find a good VPN app that you can actually utilize. So definitely that is one. And one thing that I use is for those that can't afford, if you're trying to be on the entrepreneurship pathway, and you can't afford business cards, you could use an app called Hi Hello. So Hi Hello basically gives you a digital business card. You
Yeah.
put your photo there, you put your info there, and not sure. Yeah, so there's my. There you go. You guys can kind of see that, and you can actually share that with people. Since we have this technology, you can utilize your AI technology for people like Miss Isha Nicole that love AI, and you could create your own business card that way, and you don't have to pass them out or anything. It has your Q code and everything, so it's pretty dope. So that's
Great,
probably one of the ones that I would share.
great resource. Great resource. Thank you, Brian. Thomas, you got anything you be using over there? What should we be doing from a security standpoint?
It's funny. I assess so many different SaaS applications on a daily and look at apps, but I don't be using them like that. I don't be using them like that. Maybe it's because I know what I know. I don't know, but I just use my daily email apps like everybody else, social media. Um, but yeah, I would say make sure you guys are reading the fine print when y'all downloading stuff. Make sure y'all reading what's going on with that privacy policy. Make sure y'all reading that stuff, man. It's got some valuable information in there. You don't
Yeah.
know what you don't know.
Yeah, who read all of that?
So we better
Hmm.
start. And so Thomas mentioned SaaS, and just so for those that don't know what that is, it's a software. What is it, like software as a
Software
service?
as a service,
Yeah,
yeah.
as a service.
Yep. All
Like
applications
Chat
that you could,
GPT.
yeah,
Mhm.
all applications you could use from any browser in any device.
Yeah. All right, dope. Gentlemen, we've had some good conversation.
Have
Teaching the people. I say this often on my live that I got some really dope brothers in my life. I appreciate that I don't have no scrubs. I ain't got no losers. I ain't got none of that kind of stuff. And you brothers are a testament to that. And so I want y'all to know that I love y'all with everything in me. I am so glad that y'all pour into my life. Many of y'all on a daily basis. Y'all keep me together. And so I appreciate y'all. I honor y'all. Thank y'all for just being amazing.
I appreciate that. Love that
Mhm.
information. Love that.
For real, for real. So to everybody else, it's been real. Thank y'all. Hit me up for all the information on the courses. If you're interested in pathways into these industries, into AI, into cybersecurity, into filmmaking, make sure you reach out to me, and I'll make sure you get the contact information for these brothers so y'all see what amazing things they got going on. So until next time, we out of here.
Yeah.
Peace.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.